Senate late Wednesday unanimously voted not to impeach Nyeri County Governor Nderitu Gachagua, and this particular impeachment motion had been forwarded by members of the County Assembly of Nyeri for lack, and the Senate termed it as lack of sufficient evidence. Let's just take a look at how that went down.
Ilikuwa isimame, kila kitu ilikuwa isimame kwa hii Nyeri, lakini Mungu ametuonekania, tukaomba na Mungu amerudisha maombi yetu. Kwa hivyo sisi kama wanachaka tumesema tuko pamoja na governor, tulikuwa pamoja na yeye, tutaendelea na yeye, tutamchikilia na wala asitingizwe na hii watu hata kidogo. Hii ni kitu kidogo, watu 32 walienda wakakalishwa chini. Tumejua namna hiyo kama sisi wananchi, na tumejua ni Nyeri yetu walikuwa na haribu. Sisi kama Wajiko tumeamua kuanzia siku ya leo MCA wajue hatuna imani na wao, na hata kama ni hii ofisi iko hapa ya MCA hapa kwetu Chaka, ajue aifunge, sababu hatuna kazi yake kuanzia leo. Sisi tunaomba namna hii sababu Senate imeamua na imesema Nyeri hakuna makosa, na imesema governor aendelee. Tungeomba MCA wachikane na governor na sio kumuinamia, ni wachikane venye tuliwachagua sisi. Wajue wao sio wao walichagua governor, na wala sio governor aliwachagua, walichaguliwa na wananchi, na wakati wanapigana wajue ni sisi tunaumia. Tunawauliza sasa wachike njia ya governor, wafanye kazi pamoja, ndio maendeleo ifike mashinani.
Sasa ile kitu iko na shida ni pesa hii ya development. Hii MCA walikuwa nataka wapewe 6 million katika every ward. Governor kakataa na hiyo pesa. Na sisi tunasema governor alifanya vile inatakikana, kwa sababu mtu anaitwa MCA kazi yake ni oversight, sio implementing. Kwa hivyo pesa ikuje machinani kama vile governor alisema, si tufanyiwe kazi. Jambo ile lingine mimi naweza sema ni kuhusu wajumbe wetu, MPs wetu wa Nyeri. Tumeweza kuwaonya namna hii. Tumechaona kama mbunge wetu hapa Kieni Kanini ameongea sana kwa magazeti na kwa TV. Hata wakati walienda kuvamia ofisi ya governor huko tulimuona. Tunamwambia Kanini tunataka kuje Kieni, utuonyeshe ni project gani uko naye ya CDF. Hapa unaweza kuja utuambie hii project ni ya CDF. Tuambie pesa yako Kanini inaenda wapi ya CDF, kwa sababu sisi hatukuoni. Kwa hivyo ungojee siku yako ifike, uende Nairobi ufanyie Wamalwa campaign. Tunataka uwe chief campaigner wa Wamalwa huko Nairobi. Uachane na sisi watu wa Kieni, tukae tufanye kazi yetu, na uachane na governor yetu Gachagua.
Well, those are reactions we got earlier from residents in Nyeri County after news that the Senate had thrown out that impeachment motion by MCAs. Let's now link up with our reporter from Nyeri County, Nderi, for more details on how exactly Nyeri County has reacted to that news from the Senate that voted late last night not to impeach the embattled Nyeri County Governor Nderitu Gachagua. A very good afternoon to you, Carol. Many thanks for joining us. Is it mixed reactions from Nyeri County?
A very good afternoon to you, Akisa. Yes, mixed reactions from the residents of Nyeri County now that the Senate exonerated Governor Nderitu Gachagua of the accusations that had been leveled against him: misappropriation of funds, a breach of the Constitution, undermining the County Assembly, and quite a number of charges that had been narrowed down to 3 main charges. Of course, still trying to get the reactions of the residents of Nyeri. Mixed reactions is what we will say. We are still trying to talk to the members of the County Assembly who actually passed the motion led by Farago Mutai, who is the MCA or the mover of the motion, the one who tabled the motion on the floor of the Assembly. What does he have to say, as well as the other members of the County Assembly, the 32 of them who passed the motion? The members of Parliament from Nyeri County Remember, Kisa, the legislators had come together to say that they supported the impeachment motion. They felt that there were sufficient grounds to impeach Gachagua, Kanini Kega Kieni, there was Mary Wamboi Othaya, Priscilla Nyokabi, the women representative, Kabando Mokoroine, Priscilla Nyokabi, Peter Wero Madera. They had come together to say that they felt. So we are still trying to get their reactions. And the members of the County Executive Committee had said, or rather threatened, that they would resign if Gachagua was actually sent home, sent packing by the Senate as well as the Deputy Governor Samuel Wamadhai. And the CEC is especially saying that some of the accusations that Gachagua faced were of an operational nature, and they should have been called by the County Assembly to explain some of those things, such as the misappropriation of funds. But Akisa, back to the reactions. Lydia Nyawera is my colleague from the Standard newspaper. She interacts a lot with members of the County Assembly because that is her beat, covering the Assembly. And she'll just tell us who she has spoken to, at least on phone, because most of them are saying they're in Nairobi. The person who at least told me that they're in Nyeri, that is Jessica Muri, MCA Omagana, and we're expecting them to hold a press a bit later in the afternoon. But Lydia Nyawera will just tell us who she has been able to talk to, starting with Farago Mutahi, the mover of the motion. Of course, he feels disappointed the decision by the Senate to exonerate Gachagua. Lydia, thank you for joining us on KTN News. Can you tell us who you've been able to talk to and what are they saying? Start with Farago Mutahi. He must be really disappointed because it was the move of the motion.
Yes, Honorable Farago Mutahi has been in contact with the Standard today morning, and he said that while the Senate's decision to dismiss the impeachment motion and the grounds was very disappointing, it was obvious that they did have an issue, that the Senate recognized that there are issues that have been raised, and he said now it's back to the drawing board for the Assembly because they must continue with their work. And he said that they have to accept and move on with what has happened.
Right. And Lydia, still on Farago's sentiments, that yes, he is disappointed as well as the other members of the County Assembly, but they feel that now the governor, that is Nderitu Gachagua, will be more keen on running the affairs of the county, running the county as the CEO of Nyeri County, that they hope he will change his ways, that they are optimistic about that. Nyawera?
Yes, they said that now that this issue has come to light, they are very happy because the country as a whole has now had the issues that they were raising. They feel that they have been justified. It's no longer malicious, as they were claiming, that for now the issues have been raised. The misappropriation of funds, the concerns in terms of the disrespect between the executive and the assembly have been raised, and the country has noted. And the Senate has allowed them to articulate these issues so that everybody can see and judge for themselves.
All right. You also got a chance to speak to the leader of majority, that is Duncan Getwanja, who says he's also in Nairobi, but you got a chance to speak to him. What are his views on the Senate's decision?
He said he was very surprised by the decision to dismiss the charges because, according to him, they all agreed that these issues are indeed a major concern. It's proof of mismanagement. However, they all voted, majority of them voted against the issue. So for him, he was surprised. He said that it was unfortunate, but the decision by the Senate could have been motivated by political gain because majority of this Senate has already declared their interests in being governors in future. Yes.
That's also a concern that was expressed by the women rep, Priscilla Nyokabi. I saw her tweet saying that they feel the senators might be aspiring to be governors and they could be trying to lower the standards, but of course these are individual opinions that they feel this way. Now, Lydia Nyawera, Nyeri is relatively quiet for a town that we hoped there'd be, we went to Chaka, there was a small group that was in support of the governor celebrating what happened at the Senate. Well, in your view, why do you think it's a bit quiet?
I think the people of Nyeri, politically speaking, they are a bit in shock. They were expecting that the decision would be made today, but the decision was made yesterday night. So they're still coming to terms with what has happened. Now, while majority may feel that the county is divided, there is still relative peace because the leaders are yet to come back. And once the leaders come, there will be conversations, meetings, and a great deal of antagonism. So we can expect pro-Gachagua celebrations as well as demonstrations to take place once they start.
Right. Right. Thank you very much, Lydia Nyawere from the Standard here in Nyeri. We will continue keeping an eye and our ears and eyes on the ground to let you know of what is transpiring here. But lastly, before hand over back to you, Akisa, the residents that we got a chance to speak to, what their main concern is, whether they are pro-Gachagua or anti-Gachagua, so to speak, what will the relationship be between the county assembly, the MCAs themselves, and the governor? Because, of course, they need to pull in one direction, they need to sing one tune, failure to which then Wanjiku will be affected because development projects, the acrimony and then the antagony, should it continue to flourish between the two levels of leadership, then definitely that is a challenge, and they're hoping that there will be some form of reconciliation between the MCAs and the governor, and he's not yet back in Nyeri, maybe some grand entry of sorts when he does come back to Nyeri County, but we'll continue telling you what is happening regarding the Senate, the decision made by the Senate last night.